So I'm just going to be going through what would be expected to get a job from initial client input or from input from me to the first phase, which would be guides, layer, layout, design. This is a sample of some sketches that a client sent me. On this particular, this is a first floor plan. I know that the scan looks kind of lousy. Second floor plan, they just have a few numbers for dimensions here and there. He gave me a quick section of how he was envisioning the vault of the great room. But so I would throw some dimensions on there, a couple dimensions to get you started, and you could probably deduce by what the square footage goal is and what some overall dimensions are. I would scale off of this and just give you some rough ideas for dimensions. So you would take this, and the ultimate goal would be to produce something like this. This would be all of the guidelines for both the framing. This is a brick structure, so the framing and the brick. You'd have a rough estimate of where some kitchen cabinets would go, some built-ins in the pantry and a bench and all that kind of stuff. The steps, and then you'd also place. I'll show you in a minute here where I have these little preset guides for doors and windows, and you'd set all of those. You'd probably run it past me and would either go back and forth a couple times, or we would just go ahead and produce a PDF out of it for the client. And for that, I would probably just say I keep my guides purple like that just so that they're easy to see. But this is the sheet layer for first. This is the sheet layer for the first floor plan. And what I did was, for this viewport, I turned off the usually both of these layers are turned on. I turned this one off, so just the guide layers is on. And what I would probably do is go ahead and turn all of those, just select all for the guides, turn them all black, and then go ahead and dimension these walls to the outside of framing, which I've already done, and I'm just going to turn that class back on, dimensions. And I don't have every last blessed dimension, but I have a number of them. I may even have a few too many that are really necessary for this phase. And then I just simply go ahead and publish it and make a PDF out of this. And I do the same for the first floor, second floor, and that would probably be it for the very first go around. As far as doing this, when I make my, this is a sample blank file, I've already gone to my save view for guides 1. So I'm already on my guides layer. I already have my guides class selected. So when I do this, figuring that you'll have a reference in front of you, I just start drawing lines. So let's say I draw a line there that represents one side of a wall. I just hit Command D for duplicate, Command M for move, 3.5 for the wall thickness, Command D, Command M, 12.0, Command D, Command M, 3.5. So there's two walls that are 12 foot apart. If this was a 12 by 12 room, I could just literally Command D and then Shift Command R, and there you have a room that's 12 foot by 12 foot. All right, I like to have these guidelines run a little bit long. It's just the way I do it. So if there's brick, obviously you just Command D, Command M, minus 5.5 for the brick in the airspace. So this is just the quickest way that I know how to do it. There may be, you may have a different way of doing it, but this is generally what I like to do. So That's it. So, and then over on the side, I have these, I'll probably give you an idea for what size windows to be using on the project. So, you can just put those into place. And then the doors as well. They're already marked. They're just for guides, so that you're playing while you're playing with the layout. It makes it a little bit easier. Just put those into position, and that's basically what I do. It's not that big of a deal. And like I said, we may have some back and forth throughout that process, but generally that's what I'm looking for. What I showed you before there. This would be the goal, to have it to this level before we really start doing any modeling. And that's it. Thanks.